You're watching the World Cup. Athletes sprint, jump, wrestle, compete for glory. And it all feels very modern. But here's something strange. Humans were playing sports long before stadiums existed, long before medals, long before scoreboards, long before anyone called them sports at all. In fact, some of the oldest athletic competitions may be older than agriculture, older than cities, possibly even older than civilization itself. Which raises an interesting question. What sports did ancient humans actually play? Did prehistoric people compete? Did they race? Did they wrestle? Or were they simply too busy surviving to care about games? The answer is surprisingly fascinating, because ancient humans didn't invent sports. Sports emerged naturally from the skills humans already needed to survive. Imagine you're a hunter living 20,000 years ago. There are no supermarkets, no refrigerators, no food deliveries. If you want to eat, you need to run, track, throw, climb, fight. Your life literally depends on physical ability. And whenever humans repeatedly practice a skill, competition eventually appears. It's one of the most predictable things our species does. Give humans an activity, wait long enough, someone will turn it into a contest, and someone else will claim they're better at it. So while prehistoric people probably weren't organizing official tournaments with trophies, they almost certainly competed with each other. Who could throw a spear the farthest? Who could run the fastest? Who could climb the quickest? Who could wrestle the strongest opponent? These weren't just games, they were demonstrations of valuable survival skills. And that made them important, very important. Because in ancient societies, physical ability wasn't just entertainment. It affected status, respect, leadership, even attractiveness. A skilled hunter wasn't simply useful, they were admired, which gave people a strong incentive to show what they could do. Some anthropologists believe friendly competition may have helped ancient humans improve essential skills. After all, if two hunters compete to throw farther every day, both eventually become better hunters. Everyone benefits. The group gets stronger, the hunters get better, and the competitors get recognition. It's a surprisingly effective system, and evidence suggests humans have been doing versions of it for a very long time. One of the oldest and most universal activities appears to be wrestling. Wrestling is found almost everywhere humans have lived. Different cultures, different continents, different languages. Yet somehow, everyone seems to invent wrestling. Why? Because it requires almost nothing. No equipment, no special tools, no complicated rules. Just two humans testing strength, balance, and technique. Children do it naturally. Adults do it naturally. Entire civilizations eventually turned it into organized competition. Ancient cave art may even depict forms of grappling and combat practice, which means wrestling could be one of humanity's oldest sports. And honestly, that makes sense. If humans invented wrestling 5 minutes after inventing friendship, nobody would be surprised. But wrestling wasn't the only possibility. Running was equally important. Modern sprinting exists because humans have always run, sometimes to hunt, sometimes to escape danger, sometimes because something with very large teeth was chasing them. Either way, speed mattered. And when speed matters, people compare it. Imagine a group of young humans living in a prehistoric camp. Someone points toward a distant tree and asks a simple question. Bet I can get there first. Congratulations, you may have just invented racing. No stadium required, no official rules necessary, just competition. And humans love competition. Throwing contests were likely common too. Humans are unusually good throwers. In fact, we're arguably the best throwing species on Earth. A chimpanzee is stronger than a human, but humans can throw objects with remarkable speed and accuracy. That ability became crucial for hunting. Spears, rocks, primitive projectiles. The farther and more accurately you could throw, the better your chances of success. Which means prehistoric humans probably spent enormous amounts of time practicing. And whenever people practice something repeatedly, someone eventually asks, how far can you throw it? That question may be older than recorded history. The same applies to archery. Although bows appeared much later than simple spears, They created entirely new opportunities for competition. Accuracy became measurable, targets became possible, skill became visible. A successful shot wasn't merely useful, it was impressive, and humans enjoy being impressed. But here's where things get even more interesting. Many ancient competitions probably weren't purely practical. Humans don't just compete for survival, we compete for fun. Even young children naturally invent games, not because they're necessary, because they're enjoyable. Play appears throughout the animal kingdom. Young wolves play, young lions play, young primates play. Humans simply took the concept much further. Once basic survival needs were met, people had time, and with free time comes recreation. Ancient humans likely played countless games that have disappeared completely. Games made from sticks, games made from stones, games made from bones. Competitions whose rules vanished thousands of years ago. Entire sports may have existed without leaving any trace behind, which is a strange thought. Some prehistoric champion may have been famous across an entire region, admired, respected, legendary, and today we don't even know their name. Then civilization arrived, and things became easier to document. The ancient Egyptians practiced wrestling, they practiced swimming, they practiced various athletic competitions. Some tomb paintings show athletes engaged in physical contests, which gives us rare glimpses into ancient recreation. The Greeks, of course, took things to another level entirely. Because if humans enjoy competition, Greeks absolutely loved competition. Ancient Greece gave us the Olympic Games. Running, wrestling, boxing, jumping, throwing events, chariot racing. Entire festivals built around athletic excellence. Winning wasn't just an achievement, it could make you famous. Some athletes became celebrities across the Greek world, which means sports fandom is much older than many people realize. Humans have been arguing about athletes for thousands of years. Some things never change. The Romans inherited many Greek traditions, then added their own style, which often involved making everything larger and louder. Roman arenas hosted competitions of various kinds: athletic contests, combat exhibitions, public spectacles. Not all of them would qualify as sports by modern standards, but they demonstrate something important. Competition had become entertainment, large-scale entertainment. Entire crowds gathered to watch skilled individuals perform, which sounds remarkably familiar. Even outside Europe, athletic traditions appeared everywhere. Ancient China, ancient India, the Americas, Africa, the Middle East. Different cultures created different games, different rules, different goals. Yet the pattern remained consistent. Humans competed. Humans watched. Humans celebrated winners. Because sports satisfy something very old inside us. They allow conflict without war, competition without destruction, status without violence. Most of the time, anyway. A race determines who's fastest. A wrestling match determines who's strongest. A contest creates a winner without creating an enemy. It's an elegant solution, and ancient societies understood that. Sports also helped communities bond. Festivals brought people together. Competitions created shared experiences. Victories became stories. Stories became traditions. Traditions became culture. In many ways, sports helped strengthen social connections long before modern nations existed. And perhaps that's the biggest misconception about ancient humans. People often imagine prehistoric life as endless hardship, constant danger, permanent struggle. And certainly there was plenty of that. But humans have never been creatures that only survive. We play, we compete, we celebrate, we entertain ourselves. We always have. Even in difficult conditions, even in uncertain times, even when life was far harder than it is today. The desire to test ourselves seems deeply human. So what sports did ancient humans have? The honest answer is that they probably had more than we'll ever know. Wrestling, running, throwing, archery, swimming, physical contests tied directly to survival, and countless games that vanished without leaving evidence behind. But the spirit of sport was already there. The desire to compete, the desire to improve, the desire to discover who could run faster, throw farther, climb higher, or fight better. Those instincts are ancient, far older than any stadium, far older than any medal, far older than any record book. And somewhere, tens of thousands of years ago, two prehistoric humans probably stood facing each other while the rest of their group watched with excitement. Maybe they were racing. Maybe they were wrestling. Maybe they were throwing spears. Whatever the contest was, the crowd probably wanted the same thing sports fans want today, to see who would win. And in that moment, separated from us by thousands of generations, they weren't really that different at all.